Good afternoon, my dear students and friends. Myself, Dr. Ravikant Pathak, and I'm going to start your video lecture class. In the last video lecture, we have discussed about the Haldane effect, chloride shift, and transport of the CO2 gas. And now today, I will discuss about the new topic of this chapter, and the name of topic is the control of respiration. So here you can say control of respiration. So first of all, there is the two controls way, means the respiration rate can be controlled by the two centers. So first is the two method. First is the noise control, another is the chemical regulation. Chemical regulation also called the metabolic control. So chemical regulation also known as the metabolic control. And here they have given. So first is the the respiratory center in the medulla and pons consist of, means through the nervous system there is the two inside the brain. So hind brain they have the medulla as well as medulla oblongata as well as pons. So these pons varoli and medulla both controls the respiration mechanism. In case of the dorsal respiratory group and ventral respiratory group, both are located in the medulla. Means you can say in case of the medulla, so medulla have the two. First is the dorsal and another is the ventral respiratory group. So this is called the ventral respiratory groups or ventrolateral respiratory group. So this is located in the medulla. And in case of the pons, so pons have the two also. One is the pneumotaxic center and another is the apneustic center. We will see in the next slide. Clear? Means medulla and pons both controls the respiration mechanism in the nerves controls. Okay, so first of all I will discuss about the dorsal respiratory group. So dorsal respiratory group located in the dorsal portion of the medulla and mainly cause the inspiration. Ventral respiratory group located in the ventrolateral portion of medulla. Where it located? It located ventrolateral portion of medulla and cause the inspiration on expiration. So means these both groups, respiratory groups, located inside the medulla. One is the dorsal side, another is the ventral side or ventrolateral side, and another is the Pons. So pneumotaxic center. This is also called the switch off center. Pneumotaxic center, which is also known as the switch off center, and it is located in the dorsal pons of the mainly limits the inspiration. Means they controls the inspiration phenomenon. So here you can see in the figure. So this is the pneumotaxic center. Pneumotaxic center located in the dorsal pons. Suppose that this is the pons region. So dorsal side they located the pneumotaxic center, and it limits due to this is showing the negative. That means switch off center. This is also called the switch off center. Another is the apneustic center, which is found in the pons also. This is also found in the pons, and they enhance the activity. And then here they have the ventral respiratory group. Where located? Ventral respiratory group located in the medulla on ventral side. So this is the medulla and this is the ventral respiratory group. And dorsal respiratory group, it is also located in the medulla. So this figure explain, and here vagus and glossopharyngeal nerves, which involves in the control of the chemical control, we will see later. And here which gives, so these dorsal and ventral, so dorsal and ventral respiratory groups give to signal to abdominal intercostal muscles and diaphragm, by which they have starts the phenomenon of the inspiration or expiration. Now we will see next, that is the apneustic center. What is the function of apneustic center? So here you can see apneustic center located in the pons. I had already told where it located. It located in the pons, and in the pons. So apneustic refers. What means apneustic? That is called inspiratory gaps. Apneustic also called the inspiratory gaps, and it facilitates the inspiration. For example, it can prolong inspiration when our oxygen requirement is increased. Means if you're doing exercise or any phenomenon or stretching or jogging, so that time our oxygen requirement increases. So due to this apneustic center, when we need the much oxygen, so prolonged inspiration it involves. Apneustic center involves in the prolonged inspiration, and in this sense, the apneustic center control the depth of respiration. It means you can say in apneustic center control depth of the respiration. If you'll see, first of all, this is the pons. This is the pons, and you will see, so they have the errors which runs through the diaphragm. Up to the diaphragm they have been diaphragm, and you know very well, so diaphragm initiates when the diaphragm from dome shape to become flat, and that time they give the uh, they initiated the respiration phenomenon, means inspiration phenomenon. And different types of the nerves, they have also given the external intercostal muscles and intercostal nerves to the external intercostal muscles. So both involves, and they are also related with the spinal cord. Means this is the medulla have the inspiration, because we know in case of the inspiration external intercostal muscles involved, and here that have given the external intercostal muscles. And so their respiratory center, if you see, so dorsal respiratory center and ventral respiratory center both are located in the medulla, that means located in the medulla region. Okay, now we will see the next, that is the framework. So here you can say framework of the nurse respiration control. So there they have given, first is the then given the control of breathing. So control of breathing, there is the two way, one is the medulla and another is the pons. It means this control of breathing performed by the nerve system, but in the nerve system they have the two things, one is the medulla, another is the pons. In case of the medulla they have the dorsal, this is the dorsal, and this is the ventrolateral ventral respiratory group. So the dorsal involves in the inspiration, and ventrolateral involves in the aspiration or expiration. In case of the pons, they have the upper pons. This upper pons, they have the pneumotaxic area. This is also known as the switch off center. And another one that is the lower pons, and these lower pons have the apneustic area, and which control of the depth respiration, which control depth of respiration. Clear? I had already told, because at apneustic center, so where is the need of the much oxygen? So where is need of the much oxygen during exercise? So it involves in the prolonged inspiration. So it involves in the prolonged inspiration phenomenon. So this is the control of the breathing or control of the respiration through the nerve system, and detail they have given in this flow chart, and you can easily understand. Okay, now we will see the next, that is the controls through the chemical controls, also called the metabolical control. So this is also called the metabolic control. Now here you can say chemical control. First, before chemical controls, you can see the figure. So there is the two region which is found inside the heart, and they have the receptor which is known as the chemoreceptor. So one receptor which is known as the carotid body, and another is the aortic bodies, which is located inside the heart, that means systemic aorta. So here you can see the chemical chemoreceptors are located in the carotid and aortic bodies. So where it found? It is found in the heart. Heart have the two things, one is the carotid bodies, another is the aortic bodies. Afferent nerve means sensory nerves. Afferent nerve means sensory nerves, which is arise from this portion, and it will brings the message up to the brain. So it will brings the message up to the brain. So that is called afferent. So afferent fibers of the carotid body. Here if you see in the figure, so then you can easily. This is the carotid body. Here this is the afferent nerve fiber arises. So afferent nerve fiber arises, carotid bodies pass through glossopharyngeal nerves. This is also called the glossopharyngeal. In the last slide, in the previous slide, I had already told we will discuss glossopharyngeal nerve in case of the chemical regulation. So now here you can say chemical control of the respiration. So they are provided with the glossopharyngeal nerves, and to the dorsal respiratory area. You will see the medulla oblongata. In the medulla oblongata, it is located in the dorsal respiratory area. Another one is about the aortic bodies. Afferent nerve fiber of aortic bodies also. It means see here, this is the aortic bodies, and this is the aortic bodies. So there is the arises afferent nerve, that is the sensory neuron. Sensory neurons arises through the vagus nerves. This is also called the vagus nerves. Vagus nerve to the dorsal respiratory area. It will also reach into the dorsal respiratory area. Okay. So this is the control of the chemical. Means there is the two nerves, vagus nerve and also pharyngeal nerves, and both will enters into the medulla oblongata, by which they controls. They have given the excess CO2 and hydrogen ion stimulates the respiratory center, because this suppose that is inside the blood acidic condition will come. Excess CO2 hydrogen ion condition means pH decreases. When the pH decreases, excess CO2 hydrogen ion stimulates the respiratory center, accordingly alter the inspiratory and expiratory signals respiratory muscles, and increased CO2 lowers the pH, resulting in the acidosis. And when acidosis condition will come, so that time it will become activate. So here they have given, if you see, increase these substances can activate this center, means acidic condition will merge. So acidic condition acidosis, it is acidosis create the activate, acidosis can activate the center, which is turn can signal the rhythm center to make necessary adjustment the respiratory process, by which this substance can be eliminated. Means when the CO2 and H plus ion concentration increases, when H plus ion concentration increases, they will give signal to the respiratory center, and respiratory center become activate, and by the process by which this substance can be eliminated, means this CO2 as well as H plus ion, they will eliminate and maintain the means you can say simply control the respiration phenomenon in this way. The role of oxygen in the regulation of respiratory rhythm is the quite insignificant. It means during the oxygen, so oxygen play very much, so simply you can say very much important role in the regulation of respiratory rhythm. So regulation of respiratory rhythm, oxygen play very much important role. They have given the chemical control, also known as the metabolic control. I had already discussed. So sometimes in your NEET exam, they can ask in the form of what is the metabolic control of the respiration. So metabolic control or metabolic respiration control. So chemical control, also known as the metabolic control. Now here can say this is the central controller, and we know very well. So two things: Pons and medulla oblongata. Pons, there is the input central control, chemoreceptor and lungs. So chemoreceptor generally located in the aortic bodies, and here they have given the respiratory muscles, and output it will get the signal from aortic bodies, it will get the signal from aortic and carotid bodies, it will reach into the dorsal part of the medulla, and after that they will output it will, you can say it will give the signal to the central controller inspiratory muscles, and in this way control takes place. Okay, in this way control takes place. So these have given the regulatory mechanism of the or regulation of the respiration phenomenon, or simply control of the respiration. So now this is the finish, and I'm going to finish your class. Thank you for everyone, and everyone should subscribe, share my channel, and hit the bell icon for future video notifications. So thank you.